So today I'm going to show you how to make the word breathe out of wire with your tools or without your tools. So I'm going to start with a 12-inch piece of 18 gauge wire. So I'm going to go ahead and start forming the B. I'm just going to start here. I do have a playlist of all my letters and a bunch of words. I'll link those up below. And then to do the B, there's different ways you can do it. We can just go ahead and start forming the top loop. So we're going to use our larger round pliers for that. We're just going to bring that down and then bend it back on itself. This wire is quite stiff, so if you want any amount of detail, you're going to have to use pliers to be able to make nice smooth bends type of thing, but I'm going to show you after how to do it without tools. So we'll just go ahead, and then if we want to bring this back, and then we can just bend it back on itself to go over here to do the R. It's always tricky to know, how to connect the letters sometimes, but with practice you'll get the hang of it. So we're going to bring this up to do the R, and then to do the R with the tools, I usually just bring it down on itself, bring that up. This is a very stiff wire. This is the 18 gauge. Normally for letters, I do the 20 gauge. I just find it a lot easier, but I just wanted to show the difference of doing with tools and without. So there we go. So we're going to bring this around. So this is going to be the E. Bring the E down there. And then for the A, we're going to bring that up and down. And then for the A, you need a circle. So we'll use our larger round pliers here. I'm not going to worry too much if these are like perfectly matched size-wise. We're going to bring that down. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily advise the 18 gauge wire. It's very, very thick and stiff. This is actually a wire from Michaels. It's just sort of a generic craft wire, but it's fun for samples. It's not an expensive wire. You can get 3 rolls for $10, and it comes with 20 gauge, 18 gauge, and 24 gauge, which are all gauges that I use a lot. So there we go. There's the T. Hopefully I'm not going to run out of wire. I cut about a 12-inch piece, so we'll see. So that's going up for the H. Bring this down. Bring that right down. And bring this up again for the little loop of the H. You see I use my fingertips sometimes. Sometimes it's easier, so you could do that as well. I think my letters are getting smaller because I'm running out of wire, but at least you can get the gist of what I'm doing. So we're going to do that, and then the other E for breathe. So we're going to bring this down here and up and across like that. So there is the word breathe done with the tools. So to do the same word without the tools, for sure we're going to need a longer piece of wire. So I've actually cut it twice as long because I know my letters are going to end up being bigger. So we're just going to go up here, and then maybe to be able to bring it around, because I don't have my pliers to be able to, make little sharp bends. So if I just do a loop and kind of pull it, it's going to be okay. And we're going to bring this around. Luckily, it's pretty flexible, this wire. It's not too kinky, which is good, because if it kinks in little spots, it's going to be hard to fix without the pliers. So we're going to just bring that around. So you see, instead of doing bends, I'm mostly just doing loops. So that's an interesting approach to it. And the cool thing is, I hadn't thought of doing this before, but on my live stream last week we were doing names, and Mustafa had actually asked me if I could do some lettering that was a little more stylized. And because my lettering style is usually very stiff, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to approach it, but then I realized, well, if I do it without pliers, then I don't have that sort of constriction of doing them very tightly. So it actually really helps. So thanks to Mustafa for suggesting this. I'm not quite sure what's happening with my R here. It's looking a little funny, but if I put this, it was too straight across. So if I bring it on a little bit of an angle, it looks a little better. I hadn't thought that one out too well. So rather than doing an E that has the little jog in it, because it's going to be really hard to do without the pliers, I'm just going to do the E so it looks a bit like an L type of thing. So there's the E, very simple. And then we're going to bring this around. I think my hands are going to hurt after this. I don't know why I chose such a stiff wire. That was not the smartest thing to do, but hey, that's okay. We're just going to go with it. So the letters are actually not going to be super even because this wire isn't the most flexible. If I was using a copper wire, this would have been a lot easier to do because the copper is softer, but this is copper, but I think they put something else into it to make it stiffer. So there's the A. We're doing pretty good. I probably shouldn't have chosen a word with an T in it because the T, I realized last time on the live stream too, it was a little tricky to do, but we're just going to go for it. So we're going to bend this to the back, and it helps to use your nails to give it a more of a stiff bend, you know, if you don't have your tools. So I'm just going to use my nail to give it a little bit of a bend there. And I actually did another video where I was doing something without tools, and I used the end of a knife, and that also gave it a cool little sharp bend. So there's lots of possibilities if you do not have tools. You're not going to make the sort of most tight professional models, but you can make some really interesting artistic stuff. So where there's a will, there's a way. So there's the T. We're going to bring this around, and we're going to do the H. So we're going to bring that down here, bring it around to the H. Okay, and I'll link up the other video too where I did the names last week, and I showed doing another word with I think it was a name, I forget, I think it was Elizabeth or something I did with black copper wire that was quite soft, so that worked out really well. So here we go, we're going to go around here and then do the E again. So bring that here, and it could be funky if they're not all at the same level. These ones are ending up being pretty tight even though I'm not using tools. So there we go. So there is breathe done without the tools. Pretty funky. As you can see, the one made with the tools is a lot tighter, a lot more even, and the one without the tools is actually really nice. I like the way it's very loose and very open, so you can actually do it either way you like. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your work, be sure to join the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club on Facebook. I'll link it up below. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wire, wedding cake toppers, and funky jewelry. And also, I have a mailing list going, so if you'd like to join my mailing list, I'll mail you my Wire Art Essentials ebook, and that's linked up below too. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.